Yeah, I've caught up to the reported party.
Stand by. We are trying to call back for a description.
Take it off on me.
4, 3, 2, 1. Copy.
Woke up quick at about noon.
Welcome. This is the LoDown.
You ready for the LoDown? It must be 12 o'clock. My station's on live. Take your positions. Time for D-Lo. J. Ross and I and we'll play your face.
The LoDown. Damien, Barling, and Jason Ross.
Soon at 3 o'clock, you know they hot just from the intro. This the LoDown.
The LoDown.
We made it to a Friday, and welcome in to the LoDown Live. I'm Damien Barling, along with the best there is, the best there was, and the best that there ever will be, the king of the live stream, Jason Herbert Walker Ross. We are broadcasting, as always, on Sports 1140 AM in Northern California, on the KHTK app, all over the world, and on KHTK.com, anywhere on the planet Earth. Even if you have dial-up, you can watch us over there on KHTK.com. And if you're watching along with the program today, and hopefully you are, a new episode of the Champ Chronicles will debut during our first commercial break right around 12:25. A new episode of the Champ Chronicles coming up during our very first commercial break today.
Last time this happened, I predicted it was going to be really good for us. That couldn't have backfired anymore, so I have no idea what to expect.
Shocker, something went wrong for you in one of those videos.
Yeah,
I have a feeling this one's going to be different, though.
I don't like the tone in your voice at all. We have got our eyes on the NCAA tournament. Again, if you're watching along, you're going to be seeing us stare at the TV quite a bit today. My national champion is playing for the first time. The University of Tennessee, and they are up 2-0.
Colgate's out.
Sharpie it over.
Yeah.
The Vols are headed to the Final Four.
Colgate can't come back from that.
2-0? Are you kidding me?
Possession.
It's an insurmountable lead. Look at that block shot. Come on, it's all downhill. It's all down here for the toothpaste.
Yes, that's
all
right.
downhill for the toothpaste right here. But we told you to keep an eye on Kansas State and UC Irvine. Mm-hmm. Well, it's 30-30 at the half. That's a 4 versus a 13. It is 30-30 at a half. At the half, Texas Tech up on is that Northern Kentucky up there, 47-36. So we will keep you updated all throughout the day. Zion Williamson and Duke will play, not while we're on the air, but they do make their NCAA tournament debut coming up. I think the time for that one is 4:10. And there's a name that maybe you weren't familiar with yesterday when the tournament started, but I bet you're familiar with it today. All sorts of comparisons were being drawn between Jay Morant and a particular point guard who dons a Sacramento Kings uniform. That's where we will begin here, this edition of the LoDown Live. The Sacramento Kings win last night against the Dallas Mavericks, perhaps finally getting that nasty taste out of their mouth from the Brooklyn Nets D'Angelo Russell game just a few nights earlier. Kings win 116-100. And perhaps as a side note, a side positive note, Marvin Bagley looked fantastic. His alleged counterpart in a Dallas Mavericks jersey very much did not.
So the debate's over?
Of course it is.
Player?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we decided in one game.
Luka's going to win the MVP award, or the Rookie of the Year award, which is just an MVP for rookies.
Yes.
Let's just call it what it is.
Which he deserves.
My goodness, man, I should have been a baseball player. They're just throwing money at everybody.
Someone else just signed?
Chris Sale. 150. He buying.
Yes,
We're
he
gonna
is.
call him Chris buying.
Yeah.
That was horrible. I apologize. I'm sorry. That was a Kyle Madsen joke. My sincerest apologies.
I approve.
You would.
Yeah. I like
you
that.
absolutely would. Sorry. Who hasn't? Raise your hand if you haven't gotten a $150 million contract extension in the last couple of days. It's just us.
Yeah.
The champ did not raise his hand, by the way.
I just want to also add that he's still $60 million short of his teammate. Price signed a $212 million contract.
And was it Mookie? Did Mookie turn down a $200 million contract extension? Somebody turned down an 8-year, $200 million contract extension. I think it was Mookie Betts.
He must know what's coming.
Dude, money is, man, why didn't I pursue my dreams of being a baseball player?
See, it's not
because you were terrible.
Oh, that was it. That was definitely it. I couldn't
Something
hit
about the curveball.
And I was fat. No, it was a fastball. I couldn't hit anything.
You were the first baseman with the picket. You would scoop it up.
I am the epitome of, I think it was a John Kruk line that said, I'm not an athlete, I'm a ball player. That was me. Just a fat little kid out there trying to field grounders.
Yeah, but look at you now. Now's the time to
Now
turn
I'm
pro.
a bitter radio host who doesn't make a $150 million contract extension like these guys do.
Well, join in like Tim Tebow. He started late.
And I had to send $20 yesterday. I had to send $20 worth of fun to participate in this stupid bracket challenge.
You're not out.
Dude, I might have.
Champion is winning
I was
9-2.
undefeated.
Yes.
When this show ended,
Like 6
I
or
was
7-0?
the greatest bracketologist the world has ever seen.
That's over?
It's long over.
Yeah.
What's also fun is going 14-2 the first day and then losing your first 2 games the next day.
That is fun.
I wouldn't know because I didn't go 14-2.
Yeah. Today, the 2 finals. Mild upsets, a 10-7, a 9-8.
Tennessee's up. This game's over.
You're right.
You ready to Sharpie this
Yeah,
over?
it's good.
It's 11-2. Tennessee. Oh, come on.
That missed dunk. Mark that down. Remember that play for Tennessee.
You know, I think Tennessee is going to have to get to 96 to win this game.
See, 3-0 run since a missed
I think
dunk.
a couple more possessions like that, and this Tennessee team is in trouble.
Yeah.
Tennessee team is in big trouble. Where were we? Not
Kings.
Colgate. We were
Marvin
talking
Bagley.
about the Kings.
Luka,
MVP, Rookies of the Year, all of that good stuff, and then Chris Sale got a $150 million extension, and it completely threw me off. That was the way the game needed to play out last night for the Kings, and probably for Kings fans as well, who were a bit edgy as that game was getting underway.
I like how all the things we hit on our LoDown pregame show out there kind of came to the forefront.
We're kind of, we're like 3 for 3 on those preview shows. D'Angelo Russell walked behind us
It
in
was
the
a
Brooklyn.
sign of things to come.
We
couldn't stop him either.
And I didn't realize this. He was laughing as he walked behind us.
We tried to get him. We didn't stop him.
No.
We can't blame the Kings. No. It's back to us. It's our fault.
It is.
But yesterday,
And Joey's girlfriend.
We highlighted Dirk. He was kind of a major storyline. He didn't do much in the game. Actually, he really helped the Kings because when he was guarding Willie or Marvin Bagley, they absolutely abused him. Justin Jackson got his first start as a Mav. He's playing his whole team. But I thought Harrison Barnes was incredible, not only offensively, but he guarded Luka a lot of the game. And then the Bagley-Luka combination. And then the other part was the redemption for the Kings. How do they regroup? And we saw the team do it. We also saw Buddy Hield do it, which was good because Buddy had a stinker the other night. It was like the third time this year he hadn't scored double figures. It was a little bit of a slow start for him, but Buddy's going to keep shooting, and those shots started to finally go, and he knocked down 7 threes.
If you watched the video, if you watched the courtside with the LoDown all the way till the end, I believe it was Matt George asked if this would be a Justin Jackson revenge game. I had Justin Jackson going for 40. He got close. He had 19.
Yeah, almost there.
And he was, and we point that out, he was a late addition to the starting lineup as the Dallas Mavericks announced right before the game that they were shutting Tim Hardaway Jr. down, not just for the game against Sacramento, but he's the latest in a long line of players who have been shut down for the season.
It's that time of year.
Yep.
Team is out, minor injury, time to shut some guys down. And the only, I didn't think the Kings were super crisp out of the gate, but then as the game went along, they got better. The only negative, I think, of the game yesterday was Harry. Didn't sound like a major injury at all, just kind of a little thigh bruise. But he was playing so well, too, and just would like to see him stay in. And he might play tomorrow. We don't know, but precautionary. Keep him out of yesterday's game. But it gave opportunities for other guys. And, I thought Buddy was great. Willie, career-high 18 rebounds. Guy gets criticized for that a lot. Fair. I think people are fair about that. But 18 rebounds was great to see him get that, too.
There was a very surreal moment before the game when we're on the floor and Luka's out there warming up and Dirk is out there warming up. And then Kristaps Porzingis emerges from the tunnel, and there was almost
Forgot about him.
The unicorn is here.
And he's really looking really good.
Really, really good.
Yeah.
So we stood out there, and it was just like this, wow, Dirk, Luka, and Porzingis. They were the only 3 players out there. There was a plethora of coaches and rebounders and all that stuff. But it became mesmerizing for the people who were watching it. Like, you and I were standing there with Jerry Reynolds watching this. Like, G-Man comes over, and we're all just lined up watching this take place.
Yeah. Then Coach Yeager walked over for some awkward moments.
Yeah, that was an interesting part of the evening as we're watching this, and Jason is to my right, and I feel someone come and stand up directly to my left. Now, I'm standing on a part of the court I'm normally not on.
Yeah, we were pretty far out on the court.
We were basically standing at the...
Close to midcourt.
Like the logo. And someone comes up next to me, and you just hear him go, this is just not fair. Like, look how good he is. And I look over, and it's Dave Yeager. Mm-hmm. Like, okay, I've never had one coach on the entire team we've never had a conversation with. But we're just sitting there, all of us, media and coaches, mesmerized, watching, because at this point, Luka and Dirk had cleared out.
Yeah. And
it was just Porzingis. And all eyes in the arena were watching Kristaps Porzingis.
You got Coach to laugh. I don't know what you said. I didn't quite hear it, but he laughed.
I'll keep that between me and Coach. Okay. But he just, I'll keep that between us. But it was. I won't forget my first exchange with Dave Yeager, that's for sure. Because he's normally not out there. Like when we're doing all of this stuff and we're visiting with coaches and we're doing our videos, he's not there.
Right.
Like that was the earliest I had ever seen him out.
And if we see him, he's maybe in sweat still or something else.
He's obviously coming and going, but he's got a direction.
Yeah,
he was out there. I mean, it was still probably 45 minutes before tip.
Yeah, sounds about right.
But obviously he wanted to catch a glimpse of the unicorn like everybody else did.
Yeah, talked to a couple guys from the Dallas on the radio side, and they said, no, he's clear. I mean, he can play. They're not going to.
Yeah, they're 28 and 44. There's no point.
Yeah, because sometimes you see guys work out and you go, wow, they look pretty close, but I can see why they're not. Or they're not ready, but you just see them getting some win. He looked like he was more than ready, and that's the indication that Porzingis could play right now. Dallas isn't going to play him. He'll be ready to be unleashed next year. And so, just the remnants of that trade, looking at that, like if Porzingis returns to the all-star form, the unicorn form, with Luka, that's a really good starting foundation, but they got other stuff to work on, certainly. But those two guys will... hopefully, for their sake, take them a long way.
I asked a couple of days ago, had we maybe forgotten how good Kristaps Porzingis? I think I got my answer yesterday. Yeah. I know there was no one playing defense against him. I know they weren't running plays. I know this wasn't full speed. But I'm more than confident I completely forgot how good he was.
Yeah.
He looked incredible. And the lower bowl that had started to fill up to watch him, I think they all walked away feeling the same way.
Yeah, they noticed.
Yeah,
they noticed.
Everybody in the building noticed because there were a lot of people who wanted to see Luka, and I think it was a bonus. And there were a lot of other cool moments. Vlade came out, Vivek came out. They all came out to greet Dirk. Then there was a cool moment where I caught Peja and Dirk talking. So it's like, okay, there's some, 3-point buckets in those two players' histories. And then watching Dirk head to the tunnel, and it felt like he signed 1 million autographs. Like he stood over there for a while. It's a lot like what Dwayne Wade did when he was here. He tried, if you were there and you were able to get down into that area, he tried to sign something for you. And I've met a couple of guys along the way who got jerseys signed. Like they were pretty excited about their afternoon or about their evening, excuse me.
Yeah, and I was hoping. I mean, the crowd was great. They gave him a nice ovation before the game even started, and then the first time he came in. But he was in late third, and I think it was the first sequence or two in the fourth quarter, and Bagley just obliterated him. So Carlisle's still trying to win a game, I believe, takes him out. I see him put all the layers of the sweats on. Like he put his shooting shirt, the long sleeve sweat button-up jersey or top, and then the sweatpants. I went, oh, he's done. We're not going to really get a – I heard a few people at the very end of the game when it was kind of decided, we want Dirk. It was like, he's not coming in now.
Yeah.
So didn't kind of get that true – send-off, but because he couldn't guard Willie or Bagley.
Well, his minutes have been so sporadic virtually the entire season. If I remember correctly, he didn't start the season. Didn't he miss the
he
didn't play like at the very beginning of the season. So it's kind of one of those things where it's like, we joked about it on courtside. We don't know for sure, but we kind of hope that it's Dirk's last season because he's not going out the way Dwayne Wade is.
No, and I hope, too, that, again, and maybe they all know this already, but it hasn't been made public to us, but I hope there's nothing awkward about it. Like, if Dirk still wants to play, I think Dallas should keep him, but that's a weird spot.
I don't think that he does.
Yeah.
I don't think he wants to play. And even if he did, Mark Cuban, he's taken so many real pay cuts
Yes.
over the last couple of years, not, pretend pay cuts. He's taken real pay cuts. I'm sure he would play for whatever Mark Cuban could pay him, and then that would be that. And maybe he's not actually playing. He's just taking up a roster spot. And when you look at this, it's like, I don't see that as a big deal.
Yeah.
Let him do whatever he wants. Like, if he really wants to come back and just sit on the bench and have a jersey and play here and there, then let him.
Yeah.
Let him do what he wants.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's the case. I just don't think he's going to do the announcement. He's not that type of player. Not that what he's doing versus what Dwayne Wade's doing is right or wrong. It's just it's different, and that reflects their personality. And I love the Dwayne Wade retirement tour. I love watching his interactions with people across the league. I loved what Greg Popovich did for him the other day. I love what Sacramento did for him, which it was an incredible game for Sacramento to come back and win, and to have those various moments with Dwayne Wade. I think it's great. And I'm also happy with what Dirk's doing.
Yeah,
I'm glad he got to participate in the All-Star game, and I'm glad that cities are assuming this is his last go-around and treating him in the same exact manner that the fans at the Golden One Center did last night.
Yeah, so you kind of had the last go-around for Dirk, the first run-around to see Marvin versus Luka. And again, they don't really match up. It never really happened at all during the game. I think Luka made his first 2 out of 3, and there was one that was pretty impressive. And there was when the crowd was a little bit impressed. And then, man, could he not score. I mean, Harrison Barnes did a really good job. The collective group did a good job on him. He did not have a good shooting night. Then Marvin came in and did his normal thing, except for yesterday he stepped up a little bit in his three-point shooting. He knocked down 3 threes. I remember telling G-Man last night during the game, if he does that consistently,
yep,
good luck.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, because he's got the post game. That's pretty refined. He's got the ability to run the floor. He's a great rebounder. He'll learn to get better defensively. If the three-point game and like the square-up game and be able to take guys off the dribble get more refined, man, I think he's already scary. Again, I told you this the other day. If we just we always think about the year 1 to year 2 improvement. It's happened in front of our eyes.
Mm-hmm.
California Classic to now, game preseason to now, first month to now. He's drastically better.
Yeah. 22 points, 12 rebounds.
Easy.
For Marvin. Yeah.
It was easy.
Yeah. For Marvin Bagley III last night. Luka had 13 points on 19 shots, 2 of 10 from behind the arc. He really did struggle yesterday, as did the entire Dallas Mavericks team, as did Derek Harper, who has a clip. Derek Harper, the color analyst for the Dallas Mavericks.
That went over well.
Oh, my gosh. I sent that to our friend Kara Lawson, who works for the Washington Wizards. And she was like, oh, that's an interesting thing to say.
Yeah.
But I guess he's probably trying to cater to Dallas Mavericks fans who are probably like, yeah, me too. If you didn't see the clip, it's pretty incredible. Dwight Powell gets like the oddest, sloppiest 2-point basket. And the play-by-play guy, forgive me.
Mark Followell, yeah.
Thank you. It wasn't as pretty and graceful as Bagley, but it worked. It's 2 points, and Derek Harper chimes in. Well, yeah, I like Bagley a lot, but give me Dwight Powell, especially for this Mavericks team. It was like, wow, what an odd thing to say out loud.
Right.
In front of people.
Lots of people.
In the era of social media.
Yeah,
because I wasn't watching the Mavericks broadcast. I caught wind of this one later.
Right. Same way I did. There's no way I would have known about that.
Derek Harper, you played.
Yeah.
Basketball.
And I actually like Dwight Powell, but I know who I like better.
Oh, man. And that's not a knock on Dwight Powell.
No,
it's just, dude,
he's
Marvin Bagley is really, really good.
Yes, he is.
Is he going to be an all-star before De'Aaron Fox?
You know, it's a really good question.
I asked that because of the positions they play.
Right.
It's always going to be really, really difficult for De'Aaron to make an all-star team. Might be a smidge bit easier for Marvin Bagley.
Yeah, we're in a really good time of really good point guards, and they haven't aged out yet.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be tough for both of them.
It's going to be really tough for both of them, yeah. But, man, Bagley starts game 1 next year, 30-plus minutes per game. He's playing like again, we've given you the stat a million times. When he plays 30 minutes, he's a 20 and 10 guy.
Yeah.
There's no conversation. It's science. It's numbers. He is a 20 and 10 guy when he plays over 30 minutes.
I think really important in this discussion, if we're trying to project that, is also thinking, what's if your before free agency prediction comes true and Kawhi Leonard's in the Western Conference, that's another All-Star. Does Durant stay in the West? Does Kyrie come out West?
Well,
Who
no,
goes
of
east?
course. Durant's going to New York. Haven't you heard?
That opens up a spot.
Haven't you listened to virtually everybody?
Yeah, he's on his way to the Mecca.
The Mecca, yes. The Mecca. Where they're like 14 they're the Mecca if they could play the Lakers every game.
Yeah, they'd own them.
They own the
82-0
Lakers.
and on to the finals.
And we know how good the Lakers are.
Yeah. They'd be the first team to go 82-0 and then play in the postseason and get swept
Yes.
in the first round.
It'd be a unique scheduling setup that they'd have.
The first team to go 82-0 and get swept? Was there a team that went 82-0 and didn't get swept that I know about?
He's being difficult. Don't worry about it.
Me?
Chris went to see Us again last night.
Already?
We've got to talk about that.
Yeah.
The movie
It's
just
out
came
tonight,
out.
or last night, right?
He's
came out
already
last
seen
night.
it twice.
And debating to seeing it a third time.
I don't think
No, there's no debate.
I don't think he's debating it.
Oh, okay. But he doesn't have it scheduled. Yesterday he told us he had tickets for second
It's
viewing.
not. Yeah.
Ticket.
Well, ticket.
For some
He
reason,
didn't want to be bothered the second
Yeah.
time around. He did not want to be distracted. Okay? You know what? Okay, hold on that. We'll get to that. We'll get to that later. We've been accepting your letters all week long here at 280 Commerce Circle, Sacramento, California 95815-ish. Courtesy of Jason Ross, your mailbag letters have reached us. We have opened them. We've got the mailbag segment coming up at 2:30. Of course, we'll keep you updated on the NCAA tournament. The toothpaste not quite gone yet.
No, they're hanging around.
As they made a little bit of a run. Tennessee up 5 right now, halfway through the first half. Tennessee 20, the toothpaste 15. Kansas State and UC Irving back underway though. I'm watching that one closely.
Yes.
I'm gonna go ahead and need UC Irvine to win that.
How about it's super early, but why not do an overreaction? The first ever number 1 to lose, Virginia. We said, they're going to be so focused.
Oh yeah.
They're at the first time out, they're losing. It's 6-4, but that's just funny to Gardner Webb. I mean, if that game stays just close, how
Heart
tight?
beating a little bit faster.
Sure.
Coaches are wondering, like, oh my God, they're having flashbacks. They're seeing all of the clips and the highlights running of University of Maryland, Baltimore County.
I mean, I didn't see a point spread, but I'm guessing it's 18-20,
Gotta
probably.
be, yeah.
I mean, Duke's up there like 27. So, again, very, very early. A long way to go on that one, but we'll see.
For now.
Yeah.
For now.
Keep an eye on it.
Well, we will monitor the situation. We hope you're watching along here on KHTK.com. We have got tickets to see Eric Church. Eric Church, this isn't the actual ticket I showed the camera. It's just the piece of paper.
Yeah,
that
but it's official.
We have to. Yes, this is a official document right here. We've got a pair of tickets to see both days of the Eric Church Double Down Tour when it comes to the Golden One Center for his epic 2-night experience on November 22nd and 23rd. Coming up in about 7 minutes, 12:30, we will let you know what time you can win those tickets. And remember, if you're watching or listening, whether you're streaming or listening on 1140 a.m., whatever it may be, you will have a fair opportunity to win, I promise. And we'll let you know at 12:30 what time you can do that. Also, coming up here in just a couple of minutes, over on KHTK.com, the LoDown Live, we will have the debut of the newest episode of the Champ Chronicles. Nothing ever goes well for you in these videos, so I'm very anxious to see what happens in the latest episode here.
Well, the good thing is I don't remember seeing, like sometimes see Chris with a camera or someone with a camera. I haven't seen anybody.
Yeah, I didn't realize that filming had commenced, and
Yeah.
we're getting ready for a
So
new
I might
episode.
be clear in this one.
You might be.
I don't know about you. I don't know. I haven't seen it.
I'm fine.
Yeah.
I'm not involved in this nonsense, and when
sometimes.
I am, yeah, but you can clearly. I'm not portraying a character in these episodes. I'm really agitated every time I see that stupid camera come around with that stupid belt and those stupid glasses, and then you come in with your champ shirt with the big X on it.
Yes. Had to put him in his
If
place.
that doesn't win an Emmy, man, I don't know what does. That is fantastic stuff.
Well,
how do we
Joe-
get this stuff qualified for an award?
I know. Joe killed it on that episode. As did
Yes,
Jim Rome.
Joe Musa. I tried to get Joe and Sarah and Marshall in for the live stream today. They're all busy.
They're TV
They gave us
people.
the cold shoulder like
Yeah.
they big leagued us.
Yeah.
I say that as they invited me to go do Sports Extra after the tournament games on Saturday.
Oh, nice.
So,
okay.
Keep an eye out on your
Yeah.
local television
Absolutely.
channels.
All
All
right,
right, we're
you
going
already have your outfit?
Oh, I do, yeah, because I had to pick it out for the game. Because I
Yeah.
got to go to the
Oh,
game
gotcha.
first. We got to do courtside.
Then you head over there.
James Ham has been running like a one-man stand-up show on me for like the last 3 games. He's got a joke every time he walks by me.
He'll have one for you tomorrow.
I'm quite confident he will. And there was a name that made his presence felt yesterday in the NCAA tournament. I've been drawing a lot of comparisons to the point guard here in Sacramento. We'll talk about that. Plus, we were on the air when Tom Izzo absolutely exploded at Aaron Henry. He explained that. You'll hear what Tom Izzo had to say. But now, on KHTK.com, the LoDown Live, the debut of the latest episode of the Champ Chronicles.
Hey, Champ. Nice belt. I know this is the one you. It was in the trash, but you threw it away. It was in the trash outside. In the trash. So I thought I'd bring it up here. No. I'm not throwing it away. I won the belt. I beat you. I know there was that other whatever that was, that scandal, but I beat you.
The play of the day right there, brought to you by Togo's. Time to head to Togo's for their original turkey and avocado with a large drink for just $5.95. Jay Morant had everybody buzzing yesterday, not just on social media, not just in the college basketball world, but at the game as well. Yesterday at the Sacramento Kings game, Jay Morant was the talk of the tournament, was the talk of everybody down there talking about basketball. His name was buzzing around the arena.
Not another triple-double, but he had a tournament triple-double first round when you were the...
If you're into that sort of thing.
Less time, pretty effective, and you're the marquee guy, and that's what Marquette needed to do was stop him, but he's the best player, obviously, on Murray State, and there's a lot of talk that Zion is clearly the number 1, but Morant could be number 2 or 3, whatever. They're right there, and he, as you said, there's been some pretty good comparisons for him.
And one of them was, but you mentioned the triple-double, 8th player with a triple-double in the NCAA tournament in the last 35 years. First since Draymond Green did it back in 2012. Morant is the first player since 1984 to have a triple-double in his first or second career NCAA game. Shaquille O'Neal and Dwayne Wade are the only other players in that span to do so within their first 5 career NCAA tournament games.
Wow. So I think Shaq did it with blocks, which is pretty awesome.
Shaq in the news later.
Yeah.
For a really weird reason. But hey, money talks.
Chicken.
We'll explain. Yeah, but he's drawing some comparisons to a guy Sacramento Kings fans know pretty well.
Yeah, they've talked about Morant being like or similar to, which again I don't like that, but similar to De'Aaron Fox in his ability to get to the basket. Had some great highlights in the game too, and was the best player on the floor. He was awesome. He was the reason they advanced, and it's nice to see a guy that gets some hype. He did. It started as the season has progressed that Morant was being talked about more and more, but get to the tournament and then really shine. So I think he's going to get more love here as the tournament goes on.
16 assists for Morant yesterday. 10 of them led to dunks or layups. Marquette as a team had 9 dunks or layups, and Morant's other 6 assists were 3-pointers. So there was no mid-range in Murray State's game yesterday, and Morant is not about a mid-range assist.
Right.
He's going to get you a dunk, a layup, or he's going to get you a 3-pointer.
Yeah. But that works. That's effective.
It wins, man. Yeah. It went, and they absolutely, and lost in all of this is the fact they absolutely blew out Marquette.
Yes.
Absolutely just kicked them.
Which by seeding was an upset, but a lot of people thought they would beat them.
They did, yeah. Not everyone, but some. But yeah, just beat them up 83-64. We've got some good ball games going on right now. Kansas State, UC Irvine. Kansas State up 2 right now.
What do you see at the top of the screen?
It's happening, man.
No.
I can't believe that this might actually happen again. The University of Virginia is down 10. The number 1 University of Virginia for the second straight year. They're down 10 to number 16 Gardner-Webb. This can't possibly happen again.
We said earlier, hey, it was the first time out. They're down early. Now it's 10 minutes into the game, so there's a little bit more of a feeling out process, and the lead is 10. Again, Virginia can come back, but it's interesting to see what they must be going through mentally.
Think about what we might be witnessing.
Yeah.
A 16 had never beaten a 1 last year.
Yeah.
How improbable would it be for it to happen 2 years in a row?
And to the same team.
And then add that aspect to it. I mean, you would have to have a better chance of winning the Powerball than this happening.
Probably. I mean, it is absolutely crazy.
Of course, we're bad at math, so that might not statistically be accurate.
Sports math, it's accurate.
Yes. LoDown math, it's even more accurate.
Yes.
But there's about 9 minutes left in the first half, and Gardner-Webb now up 8. We're going to keep a very, very close eye on that one, and we're going to keep a very close eye on the Kansas State UC Irvine game as well, as Kansas State, the number 4 seed, up 3 about midway through the second half. Yeah. Tennessee up 11, by the way. Number 2 Tennessee up 11 on
And
Colgate.
The 2 finals earlier today, 10 seed Iowa beat number 7 Cincinnati, so mild upset, and then number 9-8, those games are always tweeners. Well, the 9, Oklahoma beat number 8, Ole Miss by 23. That's surprising. Usually those are some of the most competitive games, but 95-72, Oklahoma with the win.
By the way, just because I'm that guy, you know the women's tournament is underway.
Uh-huh.
Just thought I'd point that out. Louisville already won.
Okay.
They're a strong favorite to be there. I mean, they're a number 1 seed. They're a strong favorite to be there. There's a couple. I mean, I don't know who filled out a bracket there, but Iowa's number 2 seed. They're tied at 56 right now, with about 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
You didn't fill out a bracket
for the women's tournament?
Yeah,
of course I did.
Okay, and you entered it in Shea Serrano's tournament.
Oh no, I didn't do that.
Wow, friend of the show, Shea Serrano puts out his own tournament, and you didn't join.
I don't follow his Twitter account quite as religiously as you do. I honestly didn't notice, or I absolutely would have. Yeah, I didn't notice, or I did. You can correctly pick a women's bracket. Like you can perfectly pick a women's bracket. The upsets aren't the same. Once you get to the Elite 8, you've got some picking to do. The Final Four, obviously.
Yeah, but this year would be a little interesting because Connecticut's a 2 seed. That's rare for them, and they're such a popular team for the masses. If you're picking a bracket, I wonder how many people still pick them to win it all. And not that 2's that improbable.
Yeah,
but they've been the number one.
They lost 2 freaking games this year.
Yeah,
and that's a big deal.
Right.
They lost 2 games.
That's it.
And I imagine that Gino Auriemma, knowing him the way he was probably pretty pissed off when that 2 seed came in, and he thought, okay, we're just going to beat everybody by 40. Say the hell with you as I raise another trophy.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't say hell. He'd use a different word. 4-letter variety, not the 3-letter variety. But yeah, Jay Murray got a... Yes.
Okay.
Hella. Definitely. That is the word. Because Gino Auriemma actually is from California. So he uses the term hella quite frequently.
Absolutely.
I think he learned it from Diana Taurasi.
Yeah, I'm sure. She says something else.
Oh, my gosh.
A lot worse.
Repeatedly.
Yeah.
You talk about 4-letter words.
Isn't she known as like the most vulgar basketball player?
By far. and does not care.
Any age, any sex, any
No,
just
she does. The first phrase, the first sentence that I ever spoke to Diana Taurasi contained 4 bad words.
From her.
From her,
Yeah.
including a really long one with an M and an F in it.
Okay.
Like that was the first time we ever met. The
Yeah.
first sentence she uttered to me had 4 bad words in
Yeah.
it. Now, of course, I've never forgotten it to this day because and it's still not the worst thing I've ever heard her say.
Mm-hmm.
Tom Izzo absolutely blew up at Aaron Henry yesterday, and we were a bit perplexed by what was going on. That's not generally Tom Izzo's deal. He got pretty aggressive with Aaron Henry once coming out of a timeout, and then again in the same in that timeout he was sitting on the bench. He had to be restrained by his players,
Right.
And
which does happen, but it just seemed like he was so adamant. It was really, we wanted to figure out what was going on there.
And here's Tom Izzo talking about, this was post-game. This was in the post-game press conference. Here's Tom Izzo talking about that incident.
When you're a freshman now at this time of year, you don't make mental mistakes on things that when we're telling a guy which way he goes or not running back or, there were some things Aaron didn't do a very good job of. And then I did get after him, and he did respond, and he did make a couple big buckets, and he did make some big free throws. But that's not good enough. This is one and done time, The my bads are out the window. If they're my bads because that team played better or that guy played better, if it's my bad because I decided to jog back instead of sprint back, then it is your bad, and you're going to hear about it.
No apologies there from Tom Izzo at all.
That's one of the most coach sentences I ever heard.
Well, I'm curious your thoughts on this one.
I get a kick out of you guys. Get after somebody because you're trying to hold them accountable. I don't know what kind of business you're in, but I'll tell you what, if I was the head of a newspaper and you didn't do your job, you'd be held accountable. That's the way it is.
No.
Don't question me, basically.
No apologies.
Kind of weird that he compares himself as an employer talking to an employee.
It is kind of weird because, as we all know, players aren't employees.
Right.
Again, it caught us really off guard. We watched the replay a number of times, especially once it popped up on the phone and it was all over Bleacher Report. We've talked about this. I don't like it. I don't know how he says that Henry responded and did what he wanted to do. Maybe that's, the type of response. Maybe that's the type of leadership that Aaron Henry seeks out. That would be tough for me. It's one thing to be yelled at, but Tom Izzo legitimately, and I'm sure you have all seen this, looked like he wanted to fight.
Yeah, and kept going. Like sometimes you get a second to all right, I snapped a little bit, but he kept going. He was in attack mode.
Yeah, and there's this, what is Aaron Henry supposed to do in that situation?
Yeah, he can't do it. I mean, you have to listen or
right,
or yell back, and that doesn't usually end well.
You just sit there.
Yeah.
And he went back in the sense that he was trying to, it appeared to us, I don't know what he was doing. It appeared to us that he was at least trying to explain what he was doing or explain something because he didn't just sit there quietly.
Right.
He was telling coach almost, his body language is almost like what are you upset about? What did you want me to do? And again, it's one thing to yell, but when you're that demonstrative, it does kind of become challenging. Like, do you want to fight me? You know what I mean? And of course, his players can't do that. And you're not gonna fight Tom Izzo. You're not gonna fight your coach, but still, man to man, person to person, there is that certain. Wait, are you correcting me? Or are you challenging me to a fight? Like, what exactly are we doing here? But
good thing it didn't get that far.
Well, and again, Tom Izzo did not apologize for it. He did not apologize for it at all. Which I don't expect him to. That's was his style of leadership, and he went with it. It's time to head to athletics.com/tickets. New inventory for opening day is now available. Not in Japan, but in Oakland, which is just 6 days away. The Oakland A's season gets underway in America in just 6 days. We'll step out. We'll come back. We'll give you an update on the NCAA tournament and some great games in the NBA tonight. Hope you're watching along here over on KHDK KHTK.com, the LoDown Live. Each and every single Friday, you can watch the show, again, over on KHTK.com. If you're a business and you'd like to sponsor the show, you can call Brandon right now, who is back from his very extensive vacation. I don't know that he's actually working, but he's back in the building.
He's back.
You can call him right now, 916-923-6800. You could call him to just say hello, but if you're a business and you want to sponsor the LoDown Live, you can call 916-923-6800. Your logo could have prime placement here like this hat does.
Yeah.
With my photographer's logo on it.
I like that. That's a good look.
James Ham was teasing me about yesterday. So this is an example of
He was
what...
teasing you about your photographer?
Yes, he was. James Ham is actually a jerk. He's a giant jerk. Your logo could be here.
It could.
Just like that.
It should.
You know, on March 16th last year, UMBC beat Virginia 74-54. That's one of the things lost in all of this is the game was not close.
Yeah.
Gardner-Webb right now with 4 minutes and 24 seconds left in the first half is up 10 points. During the commercial break, they had a 14-point lead. I can't imagine what that coaching staff is thinking. I can't imagine what players who were on this team last year are thinking, but there's no way they puckered up a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
They're a little bit tighter than they were about 30 minutes ago.
And just for perspective, they showed when they were down 14 that tied for their largest deficit of the season. May not mean much to a lot of you. They play Duke multiple times, North Carolina, that great conference that has 3 number 1 seeds, them included. They play all of them all the time. And this, to Gardner-Webb, is their largest deficit of the season.
Virginia, again, not the number 1 overall seed like they were last year, but they are a number 1 seed. They are down double digits right now to Gardner-Webb. We will obviously keep a very, very close eye on this one. With 5 minutes and 38 seconds left in the game, UC Irvine up 8 points on Kansas State. Number 13, UC Irvine up 8 points on Kansas State. So if Coach Bob Thornton, if you're listening, you called this one, and I jumped on the bandwagon. I'm sure it has nothing to do with the fact that Bob went to UC Irvine.
Hey.
But that's all right. He called it. He said this upset was going to happen. He said if you fill out a bracket, you got to pick UC Irvine to get this job done against Kansas State, and he was right. Unfortunately, Coach, I'm not going to have any winnings to split with you as I promised I would because, well, apparently I suck at picking every other.
Come on, Tennessee up 12 on Colgate.
If all the games just took place while we were on the air, I'd be fine.
Sure.
Because yesterday, during the LoDown, I never lost.
Yeah. That's
never
right.
lost.
That's right.
But as soon as the LoDown ended, everything went to hell. Everything.
Yeah.
Weak. I hate brackets. That's why I hate doing this crap.
It's fun.
It's
fun.
not
It's
fun.
good and
It's
good for you.
stressful. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like playing fantasy football
Yes.
where you're screaming for a team to hand the ball to a running back that you otherwise would not care about. You're completely emotionally invested in Matt Ryan handing off the ball to Tevin Coleman instead of Devontae Freeman because you have Tevin Coleman on your fantasy team. This is the exact same nonsense right here.
It is the exact same thing. Just like fantasy football, you're losing to me.
I told you, it's too much time left to walk out.
Yeah.
I'm sick of Chris's crap. I'm sick of all of this crap. Who are you? Do you have UC Irvine?
I do.
Oh, great. Do you have Gardner-Webb? Because I went Gardner-Webb here in round 1.
I do not.
I just switched to Gardner-Webb.
I just switched. I was the guy who was going back and forth whether Virginia should be my national champ.
I thought about him as the title team.
I'm thinking ultra motivated right now.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not so much.
Yeah.
Imagine if the game is close, like it is now. I mean, it's single digits, I think,
it's
now.
8 under 4 minutes to go in the half.
Switch the halves and make it the second half.
Mm-hmm.
They're losing.
Oh, yeah.
They're losing a close game.
Yeah. They have enough time to correct this, but
they're going to have to do it between the 4-minute mark now and the 4-minute mark then.
Correct.
Because if it's close late, I don't think they're going to get it done.
Yeah, they'll be really tight, and so much confidence will be going that way for
if you had to bet on one game, they say you get one game to bet on. Wouldn't that be top 1 or 2? It's like, okay,
well, of course,
it's not
the payoff.
And it's not going to happen again.
Well, yeah, exactly. I thought the story could be the opposite. The ultimate, that's what we talked about it yesterday, the ultimate redemption. The first number 1 seed to ever lose. They're going to come back the next year, just like North Carolina lost in gut-wrenching fashion to Jay Wright and Villanova. They could different type of loss that Virginia went through, but the very next year, North Carolina came back, won the national championship. I'm thinking in my head, stories, emotions, it's a big part of sports. Virginia comes back, wins the national championship.
Yeah. Well,
they got some work to do.
And the beauty of this for them is they just have to win for Virginia because there's really no carryover round to round. It's a new opponent.
They just got to get out of the first round.
Because when people say, oh, I didn't like the way they look, doesn't matter. You can win the next game by 40. You just have to get through. But so far, that's proving to be tough for Virginia.
A friend of the show, Dawn Staley, and her South Carolina Gamecocks advanced today rather easily. They're a number 4 seed in the women's tournament. Because, by the way, the women's tournament is underway. And unlike the men's NCAA tournament, where you can watch every game on like 5 channels, there is one channel carrying the women's games. We have friends calling games all over the country today. There's good basketball tonight, by the way, not just in the NCAA tournament, but in the NBA. Rockets and Spurs tonight. You told me 2 weeks ago, hey, you hyped for the Rockets and Spurs? Like, no, not really.
Yeah.
But now the Spurs have reeled off. I know they lost a couple of nights ago, but they reeled off a number of wins, and this should be a good one with the Rockets tonight. Another good one as well, Oklahoma City and Toronto. We'll get you ready for tonight's NBA action. We'll talk a little bit more about the Sacramento Kings. And if you want to jump in here on these phone lines, you can. You can get us on the Fire Wings hotline. Try one of their delicious 21 flavors of wings today. Fire Wings, just wing it. 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. It's the LoDown live on KHTK.com.